It's time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to race 15 here at the Last Great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race as well as the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series Championship. 7 months have led up to this moment with 7 drivers left to duke it out to try to win the title tonight. It's going to be Truex, Busch, Bell, Blaney, Hamlin, Buescher and Logano in a 100-lap showdown here at Bristol Motor Speedway. All these drivers have fought all season long, while for some, they were on total cruise control, while most of them have to fight their way out of adversity out of a much bigger hole. This is the moment that we have all been waiting for. The biggest prize is in their hands, and they have a real opportunity to climb up to the top and to secure a victory. All 7 drivers have been competitive for most of the season, and it's time for all of them to dash and run 100 clean laps around the tricky short track also known as the Last Great Coliseum. After many years of finishing second, our current points leader, Martin Truex Jr. is hoping that he could cap off his career by holding on to that point lead and take home that exclusive championship before driving off into the sunset. But Kyle Busch is currently 9 points behind him, leaving the door wide open for him to steal the title away from his fingertips, while the remaining 5 are praying for chaos to fall for them to have a major advantage ahead of them. And before we crown a champion and for the battle to begin, let's take a look back at what happened throughout the season and see how these 7 drivers got here tonight. Martin Truex Jr. has been very competitive ever since the beginning of the season with 2 wins in the first 6 races, with both of them in dominant fashion coming from Charlotte and Pocono. Despite the one horrible finish he had at Sonoma in race 5, it really has been a near-perfect season for Truex, with a staggering 10 top 10s, with 7 of them coming from an 8-race stretch from Pocono in race 6 all the way to Martinsville in race 13. He enters in as the championship favorite, and he hopes to stay in front of Kyle Busch when it's all said and done. Kyle Busch, however, though, did not share the same path as Truex. In fact, Busch's season went off on a sour start because in the first 2 races he struggled dearly at Daytona and Charlotte with finishes near the top 30, and he entered race 3 at Kansas 32nd in the standings. However, after race 3, Kyle Busch was able to pick it right back up with a 2nd place finish, and after that he went on an 8-race stretch with 6 top 10s and 4 top 5s, and went all the way over to 2nd in the standings after Michigan in race 8. And since he has been in that position, crawling his way up closer to Truex's championship lead. His win at Martinsville was a saving grace for him to stay alive in the title hunt, as both Truex and Busch are the main 2 threats to win the title tonight. However, for the remaining 5, Bell, Blaney, Hamlin, Buescher, and Logano, they were on total cruise control throughout the season. Blaney and Hamlin are the only 2 drivers in this list that actually have won a race, with Ryan Blaney winning in dominant fashion at Kansas back at race 3, with Denny Hamlin getting a last-minute victory most recently at Las Vegas in the previous race 2 weeks ago, keeping his season alive here today. Bell, Buescher, and Logano, although haven't won a race yet so far this season, all 3 have been able to stay competitive, with Bell having 4 top 10 finishes in the previous 5 races. Buescher was a dark horse in the first half of the season with 4 consecutive finishes inside the top 15, and it was leading the points by race 4. Although the start of the second half really wasn't memorable for Buescher and crew, but later on he found the speed that he needed with 5 more top 15 finishes and went back-to-back finishes in the top 10 in the past 2 races, with a 2nd place at Martinsville and a 9th place at Las Vegas, keeping his season alive. But unlike Chris Buescher, Logano's first half didn't start off the way they wanted to, as they started off 25th in the standings after 2 finishes outside the top 20 in the first 2 races. But like Kyle Busch, Joey Logano finished 3rd in Kansas, as well as 4 consecutive top 10 finishes, and was leading the points at the Pocono in race 6 until he had a pretty disappointing result next race at Talladega, dropping him from the championship lead. And it didn't look promising for him, as he only scored 1 top 10 in the next 3 races after that. However, after Watkins Glen, he picked it right back up with 4 consecutive top 15 finishes, just barely keeping his season alive today, leaving these 7 drivers to fight for the major prize tonight here at Bristol. And here's how they could win. Obviously, our main 2 threats being Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch, obviously they don't need to win, knowing that they're 30 points ahead of the other 5 drivers and knowing that they're 9 points between each other. But here are the real scenarios that needs to happen. So for Truex, obviously if he wins, he becomes champion. Obviously, and if he finishes 8 positions ahead of Busch, he also becomes champion. A second scenario, though, is that if Bell, Blaney, or Hamlin wins this race, he needs to have Busch to finish below the top 15, and he becomes champion if that happens. For Kyle Busch, though, he obviously needs to win this race as well. Plus, he needs to have Truex to finish below the top 10 in order for him to become champion. And obviously, he needs to finish 10 positions ahead of Truex, knowing that he's 9 positions behind Martin Truex Jr. And if he does that, he will become champion. Now, obviously, both of those drivers don't need to win this race here today, but they need to have a clean race, and Busch needs to finish 10 positions ahead of Truex for him to become champion, and Truex just needs to stay in front of Kyle Busch if he wants to at least claim the title. And as for the remaining 5, they obviously enter in as launch shots and need to have the perfect storm to happen. They all need to win, of course, and Truex and Busch needs to finish outside the top 20 if one of these guys have a real opportunity to get the title. These launch shot drivers need a perfect storm here today if they want to have a real opportunity to claim the title, knowing that they're 30 points behind both Truex and Busch. It's going to be a tough challenge for these 5 drivers, but if both Truex and Busch have a bad day, they can have an opportunity to somehow steal the title away by winning this race here at Bristol. Whew, that was definitely a mouthful for sure, but now it's time to see our starting lineup here at Bristol for the final time and see where your favorite drivers are going to be starting at here at the Last Great Coliseum for the Busch Pro Shops NRA Night Race. And for the 3rd time this season, we see Kyle Larson starting on pole with Alex Bowman on the front row, sweeping for Hendrick Motorsports for the 2nd time, and of course Alex Bowman with a major heartbreaking elimination after missing this race by 6 points. But he does have incredible speed in that car, shockingly, and will start alongside his teammate, sweeping the front row for Hendrick Motorsports. And how about row 2 starting 3rd? We see Ty Gibbs in the 54. He is pretty good at this track statistically. Tonight he starts in the top 5 with Joey Logano in the number 22, one of our 7 championship contenders. He starts 4th, and that is the highest among all 7 drivers.
Watch him win the damn title now.
And in both 3, we see 2 more of our championship contenders. As a matter of fact, both 3rd and 2nd, that's Christopher Bell and the 8 of Kyle Busch. Obviously, Christopher Bell needs a perfect storm here today, while Kyle Busch, however, though, has one thing to deal with. He needs to finish 10 positions ahead of Martin Truex Jr. if he wants to claim the title, while Christopher Bell, though, he needs both of them to struggle today and to win the race here if he wants to claim the title. And starting 7th in row 4, we see another championship driver, that being Chris Buescher in the 17, who needs to have a perfect storm here today. And Chase Briscoe is to start alongside of him in the 8th place position for the final race for him, driving in the Stewart-Haas Racing Ford. As we round out the top 10, how about Michael McDowell in the 34, starting 9th here today at Bristol? A pretty good qualifying effort for Michael McDowell here today in the number 34. And there is Denny Hamlin in the 11, another one of our championship drivers in the top 10. He hopes to have redemption after getting his championship robbed away back in 2025 at Phoenix, so let's hope Kyle Larson doesn't stop him this time. Tim James?
Hey guys, starting 11th, we see Ross Chastain having an interesting paint scheme this time. This is the HTP Hostile Takeover Bank.
And you guys have watched cars before, you'll be very familiar with this scheme. As a matter of fact, Chastain, Jones, and Simmons got together and they teamed up, and they're going to be racing tribute paint schemes for the movie Cars by racing their paint schemes for the 20th anniversary of Cars. So that's going to be pretty cool, knowing that the first race with the historic 3-wide tie at Motor Speedway of the South is actually based on this track, so it's nice to see that. And there is Martin Truex Jr., our championship favorite, the championship leader, starting 12th. And in row 7, we see the 45 of Tyler Reddick in the 3G paint scheme, stealing one of Kyle Busch's paint schemes. And there is the 12 of Ryan Blaney, another one of our championship contenders. He is the lowest qualifier out of all 7 as he starts 14th back in row 7. And yes, I bet a wave of nostalgia hit a lot of our viewers here today, because that's Tim Simmons driving the 95 Rusty Chevrolet. As we talked about, him, Chastain, and Jones are all throwing it back to that movie for the 20th anniversary. It's nice to see those colors here. He actually starts 15th here today. How about that, starting top 15 for that small team? And there's the 77 Carson Hocevar, who just hopes to end the season off on a high note after an abysmal season. Row 9, we see the 41 of Ryan Preece, whose short tracks are his bread and butter here, so he hopes to have a great day here today, finishing off the season strong. And the 99 of Daniel Suarez, making his what might be his last race for Trackhouse Racing here, as he does start decent here today. He starts 18th. And William Byron, once again, not having that great of a qualifying effort, as he does start 19th here today. He is, as a matter of fact, still looking for that win here in the Fastenal Cup Series. And rounding up the top 20, we see the 23 of Bubba Wallace in the rock gold colors.
Go ahead, take it away, Jimothy.
You guys, back here in 21st, we see the 9 of Chase Owen also having a heartbreaking elimination 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas. He missed this race by 11 points. Both Bowman and Elliott actually missed this race because of where Busch finished at Las Vegas, that's why they're not competing for a title tonight, and the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just hopes that his second half, that was a struggle, finishes off on a high note here today. And the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, starting 23rd here today in the Hyperized colors, bringing it back to the success that he had with that scheme back in 2021 in the Nationals. And on the outside of row 12, we see the 10 of Noah Gragson starting 24th. And there is good old Blue, Danico Blue, and that will be Eric Jones, who starts 25th here today. Awesome to see those colors here. And the 78, that's being driven by Sheldon Creed, who is no longer Mr. Second Place. He makes the field here today, and he starts 26 in row 13. Yikes, how about Austin Dillon starting all the way back in row 14 back in 27th. Not a good qualifying effort for the 3 of Austin Dillon. He hopes to improve his finishing position, and the 88, who was originally going to be driven by Michael Annett, is now going to be Justin Allgaier. This is the second time that we see the 88 being driven by Justin Allgaier. Obviously, we are still devastated over the loss of Annett and Riffle, but since Michael Annett was originally going to be the driver of that 88, Justin Allgaier is going to take out behind the wheel. That's a teammate too, so you love to see it. And rounding up the top 30 in row 15, yikes, that 91 of Shane Van Gisbergen not having a great qualifying effort as well either, as he starts 29th, with Austin Cindric also starting deep in the field. He starts 30th on the inside of row 15. And now let's take a look at your final 5 rows. You see the 31 of Daniel Hemrick starting 31st, and the 42 of Jonathan Nemechek. Obviously, he hopes to have at least some hope to end the season off on a high note. But how about this? In the 32 car starting 33rd, that's going to be driven by Matt DiBenedetto. Kind of fitting knowing that he's here at his best track at the Cup Series, knowing that he almost got his first win here at IOL in 2019. So it's very cool to see Matt DiBenedetto in this car. And man, Brad Keselowski, like, I don't know, like, this is like the 4th or 5th time that we've seen him qualify outside the top 30. It's just been a bad stretch so far for that 6 car, Brad Keselowski, as he does start 34th. Hopes to at least have a great day here today. And yes, guys, you're seeing that correctly. Kasey Kahne is actually going to be driven here for his team in the number 49 car. I bet nobody saw that coming, but Kasey Kahne is going to be driving that 49 car here at Bristol, and Josh Berry in the 4 just hopes to at least finishes off on a high note here today as he starts 36. A horrible season for Josh Berry. And back here are the guys that really did not have a great qualifying position. In row 19, we see the 38 of Todd Gilliland, and of course that 7 car of Justin Haley. Both of those guys obviously just did not have a great season. Justin Haley especially. The second half has been brutal for Justin Haley, and he hopes to at least finish clean here today this time around, and to leave this series behind in his rearview mirror. And at row 20, rounding up the field, we see that 51 car, in which this week is actually going to be driven by Corey LaJoie. This is the first time that we've seen Corey LaJoie in a race car since Charlotte back in race 2. So it really has been a while since we've seen Corey LaJoie in a race car. So he finally gets another opportunity today. This is his second start in the series. And this 21 car of Harrison Burton, I wouldn't say that his qualifying effort was bad. I mean, he was going to start, I would say, around 26th or 29th until coming out of the turn 4, he actually spun out and crashed as he crossed the start-finish line to finish off his qualifying position. That's why he's starting 40th and in a backup car as well. And that's just pretty much your average Harrison Burton weekly update. So, yeah, Harrison Burton having to start this race out in a backup car and 40th. And guys, real quick, I want to give out an update to the 77 and the 99. Of course, as we saw 2 weeks ago, we saw them involved in a huge crash on lap 59 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where Daniel Suarez tumbled wildly down the front straightaway, with Carson Hocevar having 3 hard hits. Both of them were rushed to the hospital for further evaluation, while Daniel Suarez was treated with Ryan Preisize and Carson Hocevar with a banged up foot. Now, they're going to be starting this race here today, but they do have backup drivers. The 77 of Carson Hocevar has Parker Kligerman as his backup driver, and the 99 of Daniel Suarez, you're not going to believe me here, but it's going to be Myatt Snider as the backup driver. Now, both Kligerman and Snider are both here if necessary. I think I was told that Daniel Suarez is attempting to do this whole race. I don't think he's going to go into pit road and have a driver change, and I don't think the 77 car is going to either. So
Kligerman and Snyder obviously are going to be there just in case that they are needed, in case if S'mores or Hocevar gets out of their cars to have that driver change. So we'll be on the lookout for that and see if that does happen. But of course, guys, we do have some drivers that did not qualify here. Guys, we had a total of 7 open team drivers that attempted to make the field, and those 2 drivers that were unlucky was the 26 of Nick Sanchez and that 44 car, man. I mean, obviously, we were expecting that 44 car to be driven by Greg Biffle, and obviously, we're still devastated about the loss of him. And JJ Yeley was going to drive that 44 car to replace him, but he didn't bring that 44 car into the show, unfortunately. So that's really a shame, because knowing that Greg Biffle was supposed to be driving that 44 car, but yeah, unfortunately, that 44 car goes home here today, and that 26 car of Nick Sanchez for Andretti Autosport, believe it or not, is going to be going home here today, and they will not participate here in this race at Bristol. Yeah, it definitely sucks that that 44 car is not going to be able to qualify here today, knowing that Greg Biffle was supposed to be in that 44 car. So yeah, that's definitely a shame for them, because that 44 car has been very unlucky. They only qualified, I think, once, and that was back in Martinsville, race 13. So yeah, it's definitely a shame for that 44 team, but nonetheless, guys, we're about to get things started here. And it's finally time to see who is going to be your NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series champion here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And now it's finally time to get those engines fired. Let's bring it out trackside and take it down to Michael Buffer to get things started here tonight.
Now here's Michael Buffer! And now the track is ready, the drivers are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? NASCAR fans, are you ready? There's only one thing left to say. This is Bristol. So let's get ready to rumble!
Ladies and gentlemen,
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Such an iconic way to get things off here for the final race of the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series season. It all comes down to this. We waited 7 months up until this moment, and Jimothy, I'm going to let you get things started. Appreciate it, Sam. My gosh, I am super excited. I'm super stoked for this. I've been waiting a long time for this. 7 months into this,
34.
green flags in the air. Put it in, let's go racing for a championship, boys. And guys, wait up, the 34 actually just blew up.
What?
Right before we got to green. I don't know what happened, but I think he might have just blew something while he was trying to start his engine.
Are you kidding
Oh my
me?
goodness, already. Not even in the first lap, and already we have issues. Just like Daytona, Michael McDowell is going to start off the season off with an engine failure, and he's going to end the season off with an engine failure. Already, Michael McDowell, who started 9th, already has a problem, and it doesn't look like he's going to finish this one. Unbelievable turn of events of what we're seeing here. And guys, as that happened, Alex Bowman took the lead. He already pulled away from Joey Logano, and of course, we're going to keep an eye on this 19 of Truex. As right now, he hasn't gone up to the top 10 yet. He is currently running 11th. And we're going to keep an eye on these guys pretty much the whole entire day today. And here's the points as they run. It's already getting pretty close between the 19 and the 8. Yeah, and obviously knowing, like, it's already a close battle already between these guys. Already 3 points behind each other already. Kyle Busch is currently up into the 4th place position. So that's currently why we're seeing Kyle Busch closing in on this lead already. And even though the race just started, Truex is already 2 seconds behind Kyle Busch. Yeah, and obviously, since both of those guys are in the top 15 right now, the other 5 drivers cannot win the title if they do win this race. They need to have both of those guys to finish outside the top 20 if they want to have a shot. And Joey Logano in the 22 is hoping for that, as he's currently running in the 2nd place position, the highest compared to everybody. But obviously, since he's 7th in the standings, 36 points behind Martin Truex Jr. currently, he's just gotta hope that he has the golden horseshoe and he somehow gets lucky to pull an epic comeback in the championship standings. And How about this car right here by Tim Simmons? That is an awesome paint scheme right there as he's driven the rusty Chevrolet colors from Lightning McQueen in cars. So awesome to see that. Yeah, it really is, and I bet a lot of fans are probably thinking, wow, I can't believe it's already the 20th anniversary of this movie already. It's definitely a great movie. I'm pretty sure that's the movie that got everybody, pretty much most NASCAR fans, into NASCAR because of that movie.
Now guys, meanwhile, we got some lap traffic coming into play. That will be the 51 of Joey Logano that they're catching up to.
Yep, and knowing that this track is less than a mile, we expect to see a lot of drivers already getting a lap down here with these first 10 laps, and Joey Logano becomes the first one. And as you can see, he kind of holds up Kyle Larson a little bit. That's going to put Kyle Busch up to third. Now he's 2 points behind Martin Truex Jr. Yeah, and obviously this race is still going on. It's still early on in this race. We still got 90 laps left here at Bristol, so we got a lot of time here before it's all said and done. And of course, we talked about the 48 of Alex Bowman, who's currently leading so far. Obviously, he missed an opportunity to compete for a title by 6 points because of Kyle Busch finishing inside the top 20. And now we see Kyle Busch currently running third right now as he's currently following the leader right now, trying to take it easy. Yeah, and of course, with Kyle Busch moving up to third and Martin Truex Jr. still running 11th, that puts Busch 2 points behind the championship leader, and it's pretty much going to be a battle between these two guys because everybody else is still at least 30 points behind. Yeah, but I just can't believe that Kyle Busch is even in this position today because you mentioned it in the pre-race, like. In race 2, he was 32nd in the points. He somehow came back all the way up to the 2nd place position in points. And of course, it was because of that 8-race stretch that he had with all those top 5s and top 10s. And Martin Truex Jr., as we can see right now, is struggling right now under pressure by Tyler Reddick for 12th. And if Tyler Reddick would have passed him, that's going to put Kyle Busch 1 point behind the leader. Points as they run right now. Obviously, it's very, very close right now as Kyle Busch is 2 points behind Martin Truex Jr. Truex just hope that he doesn't fall back and Busch to not gain positions because he will lose the championship lead if at least Kyle Busch can take the lead away from Alex Bowman, or if Martin Truex Jr. loses 2 more positions. And speaking of which, we see the 8 of Kyle Busch taking that position away from Joey Logano because he's blocked behind the lap car of Casey Kane. That puts Kyle Busch up to 2nd, and Joey Logano is going to lose positions here. He's going to drop all the way to 5th.
And as you saw right there, it is now 1 point between Truex and Busch, knowing that Busch just went up to the 2nd place position, and with Truex still 11th, that puts Martin Truex Jr. leading by 1 point in the standings.
I did not think it was going to get this close this early, knowing that Martin Truex Jr. is currently struggling right now, still stuck in the 11th place position, and with Kyle Busch up to 2nd right now. And the thing is, if Kyle Busch does not get the lead here, he needs to have Martin Truex Jr. to lose 2 more positions for him to officially take the championship lead as of now.
Well, we'll see how things play out because right now we're still dealing with lap traffic. There's a lot of lap traffic now that's currently behind Alex Bowman. That's going to get the 8 a run here to potentially take the lead away. Oh, man, it's Bristol, baby. Come on, go at it.
Now, Reddick, who's behind Truex, has not passed him yet, but of course now we see a lot of lap traffic now coming into play. This could potentially help out Kyle Busch, who is 2nd right now, as Alex Bowman is stuck behind Matt DiBenedetto. And definitely helped out the 3 cars that is currently in the top 5, that being Larson, Bell, and Logano. Now, Larson and Bowman are not racing for a championship, while Busch, Bell, and Logano are. They're right now currently running in the top 5 currently. But what's helping this 48 out is that he has great speed coming out of the corners, but Kyle Busch, though, has a great car on the long run. And of course, with all this loud traffic, you would have expected to see Kyle Busch take the lead, but he hasn't done that yet. And of course, Christopher Bell, as we talked about, currently 3rd in the points right now, 30 positions behind both Truex and Busch. And in all honesty, compared to all the 5 drivers that's currently considered as the long shot, I have a main eye on him. He's currently 3rd in the standings and has a better chance to actually get the championship if both Busch and Truex does not finish in the top 20. And of course now Busch is still closing in on Bowman as he's trying to get past SVG in the 91 to put him a lap down. And as the point stands right now, obviously we're taking a look. Busch is still 1 point behind Martin Truex Jr. as he is still listed in the 11th place position. Right now they're currently 3 wide in the back. That's Kyle Larson trying to pass SVG right there. They were temporarily 3 wide right there when Christopher Bell was on the bottom and SVG up top with Kyle Larson in the middle. And now Larson has pulled in close to Kyle Busch, and with second place now in stake. Oh man, it's about to become the Kyle and Kyle show. You know that term? When Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch get closer to one another? Well, we're seeing that right now as Kyle Larson is trying to take second away from Busch to put him now 2 points behind Truex. Yeah, of course, as we mentioned, Martin Truex Jr. is continuing the struggle as he has not gained any position since the start of this race. He did start 12th, though. He is currently running in the 11th place position, but he has been dropping bat like a rock. Now he's 4 seconds behind Kyle Busch, and all he's just hoping for right now is that he can get the advantage that he needs, and for Kyle Busch to lose positions here for him to keep the lead. And right now, the first car he's trying to track down is that one car, Ross Chastain, who has a 5-car length advantage ahead of him, and that makes it hard for Martin Truex Jr. to get that position. But Truex is just praying that his car can come to life later on in this race. Back out front, really has not been any changes out front as the top 5 remains the same. Alex Bowman continues to lead here. He has led all 27 laps so far, about to lead his 28th lap. And of course, we know IRL Alex Bowman is out and sit currently, so we do hope for the best that Alex Bowman is okay IRL. But we haven't talked about Denny Hamlin or Chris Buescher at all today so far. Both are currently listed in the top 10 currently so far, but of course, we mentioned that Denny Hamlin got that win at Las Vegas. That's why he's currently racing for a championship here today. But of course, both of them are currently being under pressure right now by lap traffic with both the 88 and the 91. And as you can see, the 48 of Alex Bowman, oh man, trying to put Strip Weathers a lap down. Definitely must feel weird saying that, huh? Well, I mean, of course, it's not actually Strip Weathers. That's just Eric Jones with the Strip Weathers paint scheme, but you know what I mean. Yeah, though, that's still a good-looking paint scheme, obviously. And of course, shout out to B-Lion's design for that paint scheme. I mean, it's awesome to see that car racing on the track right now. But as you see, Alex Bowman making contact with the 2.
Hit the wall hard,
go Cindric. Oh no, and he passed the 20 he was trying to avoid. But he came right back in front of his way, and that made contact with the nose of the 20. I don't know how much damage he has, but I believe he might be okay. The 22 of Joey Logano was also behind that. I'm not sure if he got damage from this. Alright, well, we'll keep an eye on both of those guys right now as we are under our first caution here of the day on lap 31. When Alex Bowman, who was trying to get past the 2 of Austin Cindric, looks like they made contact coming into the front straightaway, and that's what caused this whole thing. Let's take a look at what happened. Yeah, Bowman was pretty much in the 3-wide situation right there, and as you see right there, they made contact right there at the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh man, that 20 car got a lot of damage, including the 22 Joey Logano. Both of those cars made contact with each other. Yeah, that was pretty significant contact by both the 20 and the 22. They were able to keep it rolling, but the big question is that how much did it affect the handling of the car? Well, the 20 car, Christopher Bell, still has not pitted yet, so that really doesn't give us any answers about how his car is currently handling right now. But the 22 of Joey Logano is about to get some work done here. And of course, as we ride along with Alex Bowman, you can see right there, he's trying to pass lap traffic until they all go 3 wide. Cindric was trying to get position ahead of that 21 of Harrison Burton, and it really wasn't Alex Bowman's fault here, and that's because Austin Cindric didn't really give him any room into the apron. Well, let's ride along with Christopher Bell and see how much damage he got from this accident. See him 3 wide in front of him, and as we can get away from the shot, please, thanks, Fox. There he is right there. Oh, man. Now, I'm not sure if that punched in the radiator of that 20 car Christopher Bell, but the thing is though, I saw nose damage on the 22 of Joey Logano. Well, let's take a look from the onboard of Joey Logano, as you can see his teammate, Austin Cindric, getting squared into the wall with hard contact. And here comes the contact right there. Oh, yeah, right there. You see the nose buckle in on that 22 car of Joey Logano. That is definitely going to affect the handling of that 22 car. Not good. And now from Austin Cindric. Yeah, clearly wasn't any room for the 48 of Alex Bowman to go. I mean, the 2 of Austin Cindric definitely was putting him down into the apron. Obviously, there were 3 wide. There's really nothing that he could do. But, man, guys, intensity picked up quick. It definitely has, as the first caution of the day comes out here for Austin Cindric going around. As the 2 slides back in front of the path with the 20 and the 22. We'll get a further update regarding about both of them when we come back from commercial break as we work on our first caution of the day. Of course, with Austin Cindric going around. going back in front of the pit. We'll be right back and we'll take a quick commercial break here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series Championship here at the Last Great Coliseum. We'll be right back. Full night tonight. And guys, during that caution period, something actually happened to the two of Austin and Cindric.
Ow,
Right there.
what in the
He just
world?
lost brain cells right there while he was going into the pit road, and he hit the sand barrels just like Kyle Larson at Homestead. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Cedric was told that he was entering on the wrong side of pit road because that's not where his stall was, but I don't know, that was just very weird.
Simmons, Tim, what you got for us on Joey Logano?
Yeah, guys, I'm just being told that the 22 of Joey Logano is being pushed into the garage. They had busted a radiator inside that car with the contact that was made with the 20 car. And unfortunately, guys, the 22 of Joey Logano, his championship hopes are now dashed because he is reported to be done for the day. That's going to be one less problem for the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. as well for the 8 of Kyle Busch. Our first championship contender is already out on just the 38th lap.
Oh, no. Anyway, last month we saw Kyle Busch at Martinsville getting that win that he needed for him to keep his season alive. It was like a lot of lap traffic now. Harrison Burton. Into the wall, it looks like. Yeah, Harrison Burton just is losing a ton of positions right here. Now he's behind Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. That's going to cost him a lot of positions here, and that's not what you want to have happen if you're the championship leader.
You guys, he did restart in 9th here in this race with Martin Truex Jr. having an opportunity to try to at least get up to the front. Now he drops all the way back to where he was positionally, and that's being 11th place with Ryan Blaney right behind him.
And now that puts the points gap right where that was before. 1 point between the two of them now as Alex Bowman and the top 3 has pulled away. Yeah, I mean, it's such a shame that Alex Bowman couldn't make this race because if I can do my math correctly here, Alex Bowman, if he would have made it into this race, here's the scenario that if Alex Bowman would have led every single lap here today, which he has a chance to do so, if Alex Bowman led every lap and won today's race, he could have potentially tied with Martin Truex Jr., and if that would have happened, we're going to have to go to a tiebreaker. Well, of course, we saw Alex Bowman in heartbreaking fashion get eliminated by 6 points, preventing him to race for a title here tonight, which is something that he's never going to get, IOL. As you see, William Byron on the 24 having a little trouble getting by lap traffic, and as you see, the 95 of Tim Simmons, man, feels like watching Lightning McQueen out here. Yeah, but how about Tim Simmons, though, and the 95? He started 15th. He's currently running 14th at the moment. How about that for that small team? Yeah, that's awesome for that 95 of Tim Simmons, and as you can see right now, the 8 of Kyle Busch, right now under pressure with the 5 of Kyle Larson, as he's trying to make a move right now to try to get past him for second. And obviously, this is something that Martin Truex Jr. really wants to see. And so, see the 5 of Kyle Larson running the bad bumper of the 8 car.
Rattler's cage, man. Come on. Short track racing.
And remember, guys, these guys do not like each other.
Come on, family feud. Come on, boys. Yes, and as you can see, in the top 3, they have pulled away from this field because now they're 2 seconds in front of both Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin, JoJo's racing teammates. Oh boy, and how about this? This does remind me of some good nostalgia from cars. Chit Kits and Strip Wetters going after one another. Remember, guys, these guys do not like Not in real life, though. Not in real life. Not real life, though. Not in real life. Yeah, no. And to the viewers, we're sorry that if we're acting a little bit overhyped here, we're just having a bit of fun here on the booth, and not to mention that is the last broadcast for the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series, so we're just having a little fun here to at least do everything off with a bang here. Yeah, now let's focus on the action here. As you see, the 5 of Kyle Larson still trying to close in on the 8 of Kyle Busch. And obviously, this is something that Martin Truex Jr. wants to see. He wants that 5 car of Kyle Larson to get past the 8 of Kyle Busch. As you see, Martin Truex Jr. still right there in the 11th place position. And ever since the caution came out, it's pretty much been the same points gap. Before the caution even came out by 1 point, it still has been close as we're closing in halfway throughout this race already. And the championship battle is getting tighter and tighter. And that door is slightly opening for the 8 car of Kyle Busch to take it away. But that 12 car of Ryan Blaney looks like he's pulled back just a little bit here. And thankfully for Truex, Blaney was behind him, and now he's just a dot behind his mirror. And yes, guys, we've made it halfway. 50 laps remaining
here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and there you can see the 20 of Christopher Bell, who was involved in that accident. He did pit for some repairs. Now he's fallen all the way to the 22nd position, with his championship hopes pretty much dashed here at this point. Well, of course, the only championship contender that's currently out is the 22 of Joey Logano. So, and that pretty much puts this race as a 7-driver championship to a 5-driver championship. And of course, Kyle Busch is slowly inching his way towards the championship lead right now, but he's stuck right behind Justin Haley, one of our lap traffic cars, and that really helped out with Alex Bowman to get the advantage, as right now he continues to dominate here at Bristol. He has led all 53 laps so far, looking to try to get win number 4. Never thought I would say that in my life. Yeah, but how cool would this be that if Alex Bowman, who started off the season with the win in the Daytona 500, can end off the season with the win here at Bristol? Like, obviously, coming in here, we never thought that Alex Bowman was actually going to be very competitive. Obviously, when he won the Daytona 500, he did collapse, though, but he did save his season with those 2 straight victories at Atlanta and Phoenix until he had a bad result at Martinsville that pretty much took him out of contention. But it just goes to show you that Alex Bowman continues to have strong cars here in the second half, because let me tell you what, during the second half, his car really brought back to life.
And guys, we have bad news for the 20 of Christopher Bell. And as you can see right here, Alex Bowman is slowly closing in on that 20 car to potentially put him a lap down. We also got 3 other drivers that's on the verge of being a lap down. If Alex Bowman passes them right here, or if Kyle Busch can pass Alex Bowman for the lead here, if those drivers get lapped ahead of Bell, it's over for Christopher Bell. And they're 3 wide currently with a lap car, and Alex Bowman's going to hang on to it. Looks like Kyle Busch was trying to get past the 48 of Alex Bowman, but a lot of lap traffic was into play, and that helped out the 48 of Alex Bowman with advantage.
Yeah, guys, now intensity is really picking up here, because Kyle Busch right now is trying to take the lead away. That was going to be bad news for Martin Truex Jr. if he could take that lead. But right now you see Kyle Busch stuck behind the 6 of Brad Keselowski, a lap traffic car.
Yeah, of course we saw the 20 of Christopher Bell almost getting put a lap down by Alex Bowman, but that lap traffic really helped him out for sure.
Yeah, still ain't looking good for that 20 of Christopher Bell, because Alex Bowman is the next car that he's about to pass here to put a lap down here. So,
oh, trouble, front straightaway. 2 cars around. Chris Buescher being one of those involved, including
now look at
and more contact,
and it involves Truex, and he's upside down. Oh no, get through that, McQueen. Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
It's over. It's over for Truex.
Unbelievable turn of events with less than 40 laps to go here at Bristol, with your championship leader, Martin Truex Jr., on the front straightaway, getting involved in this accident and flipping over on his lid, and that potentially just gave the championship wide open to the 8 of Kyle Busch. I don't even know what to say.
Truex, all that hard work just to get all the way up here, a near perfect season has derailed.
And that is potentially championship hopes going up in smoke for Martin Truex Jr. And as we take a look here, looks like Justin Haley checked up right there. Chris Buescher was trying to get past him, and everybody piles in. You see the 45 get up into the air. The 19 just topples over on his roof. And as you see, more contact right there. Looks like that's the 88 of Justin Allgaier. And you see, oh man, that happened right in front of your race leaders as well. But yeah, guys, that is a huge implication for Martin Truex Jr.
Oh, and actually right there, you see the 7. Looks like he got a little loose coming out of turn 4. Obviously, he didn't mean to try to wreck Chris Buescher, but I'm pretty sure that 7 car was loose coming into turn 4, and that's what caused this whole thing. As you see, a lot of contact made right there, and that was indeed the 88 of Justin Allgaier.
Did you see how fast that 47 was closing in? He made contact with the 5 of Kyle Larson in the rear. And yeah, guys, this all happened right in front of your race leaders, but my gosh, man, I am heartbroken for Truex.
And look at this, got a good perspective on this, as you can see. The 45 of Tyler Reddick got slammed into the rear, lifting him off the ground, including the 19 of Truex. And yeah, that's pretty much his championship hopes going up in smoke right there. I cannot believe what just happened.
Obviously, you see the 8 of Kyle Busch sliding by. And yeah, that's what pretty much does it right there for Martin Truex Jr. And from Cash and Reds, he sees the whole thing happening. The 2 cars spinning around with Chris Buescher, another one of our championship contenders. Wow, that was a rough ride right there for both the 45 and the 19. Looks like the 19 even got climbed up on top of the 77 cars and Hocevar, who was trying to avoid. And there's your race leaders trying to avoid. Kyle Larson lost a ton of spots there. Unbelievable. And of course, here's the view from Chris Buescher, another one of our championship contenders who was involved in this accident. And see the 7, yeah, I think you're right, Tim James. I think he got loose coming out of turn 4, and that collected the 17 and collected way more into the back. And you see the 19 right there going upside down, potentially having his championship hopes go up in smoke. Yeah, I think so for Chris Buescher as well. He got a lot of damage from this accident. I think Chris Buescher's championship hopes is also up in smoke. And from the helmet cam of Justin Haley, as he comes out of turn 4, he gets loose right there. And unfortunately, the 17, who was innocent, collected him with them. And of course, this started a whole chain reaction to the back of the 45, literally over on top of the 7. Yeah, guys, not a bit surprised. The 45 is confirmed to be done for the day. That thing was smoking a lot when you came into pit road. So the 45 is done for the day. And not surprised, the 19 is also done for the day too. When I was right along with Tyler Reddick, who was right behind Ross Chastain through all this. And right there, you see the 7 checking up. Oh my God. As you can literally hear the carnage happening all around him with the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. The one that he's been battling with all day for 11th place gets upside down on his roof. And who is this again? Oh, it's Bubba Wallace. This is Bubba Wallace's onboard of the accident from the helmet cam. Wow, and you see his teammate going upside down, his Toyota teammate from Joe Gibbs Racing going upside down. He actually got a lot of contact from this as well from the rear. I'm pretty sure that 23 car is pretty damaged up. He was able to detain you on. And here's the onboard from the 77 Carson Hocevar. He actually got underneath the 19, and that's what got him upside down. Look at this wild onboard from that 77. Oh, it looks like the 43 also got a little contact from there. Damn it, guys. We got the Keen, McQueen, and Hicks here in this race, and the Keen and McQueen gets into an accident and Hicks doesn't. It was meant to be. And now, here's the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. as his championship hopes goes up in smoke right in front of him. He gets involved in this accident, and the rest is history. Yeah, I mean, it really is a shame, for Martin Truex Jr. knowing that he had the championship in hand, he had it won, and then he had a bad result in Las Vegas, and that's what pretty much got him in that position. And already, it's over in an instant with 40 laps to go. Major championship implications has just taken place here at Bristol Motor Speedway with championship leader Martin Truex Jr. going upside down, involved in an accident after Justin Haley and another championship contender, Chris Buescher, gets spun out in turn number 4. And right here, you can see the onboard of Tim Simmons, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have endless sympathy tonight, knowing that he just watched his favorite driver go upside down, potentially taking him out of the championship hunt. We are currently under the red flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway for cleanup, and we'll be right back here at Bristol. Welcome back to Bristol, and of course, as we mentioned, Martin Truex Jr.'s championship hopes is indeed in jeopardy. He was involved in that wild accident on lap 60, and he goes upside down on his roof, and that opened the door wide open for the 8 of Kyle Busch, because now, with him being in 4th place and Truex out of this race, Busch is now 20 points ahead of Martin Truex Jr. Now, however, though, it's still not guaranteed, because Martin Truex Jr. can actually still win the title if Kyle Busch as well has himself a problem. Well, we're going to find out here as we're about to take the restart here on lap 65. Alex Bowman already pulling away, but how about Chris Buescher in the 2nd place position, who was involved in that accident, somehow is still up here and running. And right there, you just see the 20 of Christopher Bell. This is bad news for him. He was just listed a lap down here after Alex Bowman just passed him on this restart. Now, depending about the amount of cautions we get, if Alex Bowman passes AJ Allmendinger to put him a lap down, it is guaranteed to be over for the 20 of Christopher Bell, because if a caution does not come out here within these final 33 laps and before the 5 lap to go period, it's over for Christopher Bell.
Guys, how about Ross Chastain in the one, or also known as Chick Hicks? He was able to avoid that accident. He's had good luck going on this time around in the end of the season, because in the previous race he finally got his second top 5 finish, and now he's currently running in the 8th place position. Is still alive, and right there you see the 11 of Denny Hamlin, another one of our championship contenders. And guys, Denny Hamlin, who is currently running 5th right now in the top 5, is right behind the 8 car of Kyle Busch on the lead lap. Now, Denny Hamlin does still have a shot to win the title. You know, with Martin Truex Jr. now out of the race, he needs to have Kyle Busch now to have a problem if he wants to at least have a shot to win this thing. But right now, Chris Buescher is the highest driver in the field in 2nd, and he needs to get past that 17 car and to potentially win this race if Hamlin wants redemption from his heartbreaking loss in 2025 in Phoenix last year. Yeah, and guys, how about this 48 of Alex Bowman? He has pulled away from this field. You can see he has a near 2nd lead over the 17 of Chris Buescher, which still, somehow, I have no idea how Chris Buescher is still driving.
Yeah, not to mention in 2nd place right now. He obviously, as Simmons Tim said, he is ahead of Kyle Busch and is currently our highest driver as all of our 7 championship drivers. As realistically now, on the track, we have 5 cars in the championship that is still out here on the track. Well, if you exclude Christopher Bell because he's a lap down, so technically 4. But I think the guy that really has a real chance here is Kyle Busch now. If he can stay where he's at, he will be in a comfortable position to get the championship because he is currently 20 points ahead of Martin Truex Jr. So he definitely does not want to have a problem here, and he definitely wants to finish this race, especially being in the top 5 right now. And as we get closer to 25 laps to go here in Bristol, for the remaining 4, time is running out.
And how about Chase Briscoe in the 14? We haven't talked about him all day today, as he is currently right now in the 6th place position. And of course, the one of Ross Chastain, yes, he's still alive. He is currently running in the 8th place position, hoping to at least have another clean finish here today. But how about the 12 of Ryan Blaney, still out there, and the 77 cars on Hosevar, who literally just had a car up on top of him running in the top 10 currently.
Yeah, and of course, Tarzan Hosevar started off the season strong with the win at the Busch Light Clash until he completely derailed, and he did not get back on the tracks ever since. It has really been a terrible season for that 77 of Tarzan Hosevar. But if he can finish in the top 10 here today, that's definitely going to be a great note to end up on such a horrible season. But how about the 17 of Chris Buescher still running 2nd?
Yeah, man, that car got completely destroyed in that accident. I don't know how he's able to continue.
Next gen car, Jimothy.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, but I'm still surprised that 17 car still has the speed that he definitely needs if he wants to at least have a shot. Well, however, though, this 8 car, Kyle Busch, is still running out here, still running 4th.
And that is the sweet spot for the 8 of Kyle Busch. If he can stay where he's at, he can clinch the title as we are closing in with less than 20 laps to go. And of course, this 20 car of Christopher Bell, the time is winding down because Alex Bowman is closing in on some lap traffic. And if he does get past the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, and if a caution does not come out with less than 5 laps to go, it will be over for Christopher Bell to try to win the title. Yeah, guys, of course, Alex Bowman so far has been dominant. He has been out front ever since the race started. He has led all 80 laps so far, and I think he's been trying to become the 5th driver to lead every lap and to win the race. I mean, he hasn't done it straight off the pole like some of these guys have, but he is obviously on a run right now to potentially lead every single lap here today. Wouldn't that be impressive?
Now, of course, right now, Alex Bowman is 2 seconds in front of the remaining pack right now in 2nd place of Chris Buescher. That's how far these guys are. Chris Buescher is right behind Alex Bowman by a straightaway, and he really needs to have something happen if he wants to contend for this win.
Yeah, pretty much it's all or nothing right now for the 17 and the 5. The 8 car really doesn't need to win because he already has one, but the 17 and the 5 is looking to try their hardest to finally capture that win. They've been winless so far here, but the time is running down. These laps are winding by fast, and there you can see right there, and I believe, is that the 16 or is that the 31? I'm not sure.
That is indeed the 31 of Daniel Hamilton, James. It's not AJ Allmendinger, so Christopher Bell
can just breathe a little bit left because obviously it's not AJ Allmendinger that he did not pass. But yeah, I'm sure he is worried now for AJ Allmendinger to potentially go a lap down. Yeah, well, guys, as Alex Bowman approaches more lap traffic cars, the next 2 cars that he's about to pass is going to be Matt DiBenedetto, Austin Dillon, and then after that, it will be AJ Allmendinger. So he is rapidly approaching that 16 of AJ Allmendinger as he did get past the 32 of Matt DiBenedetto. Actually, not yet. He hasn't got past the 32 quite yet, but now he's trying to as he's about to pass him right now. Now all he has to do is try to get past the 3 of Austin Dillon, but now there's a lot of lap traffic now coming into play. This is going to be bad news for the 20 of Christopher Bell, guys. Not to mention, we have 14 laps remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway. These laps are winding down fast, and I think, as you see, I think the 16 actually pulled away just a little bit because he's not in the frame now. Actually, guys, that really doesn't matter anymore because as you see, the 10 of Noah Gragson was just put a lap down. He lost 2 positions, and now that puts him a lap down now, and now Christopher Bell is no longer on the spot to get the free pass. So if the caution does not come out when we approach 5 laps to go, it will be over for the 20 of Christopher Bell. And as you can see, we are rapidly approaching in with 10 laps to go.
And guys, this pack in the top 4 is rapidly approaching in on the 48 of Alex Bowman. You know, since Alex Bowman is currently struggling right now to get past these lap traffic, they are rapidly approaching in on Alex Bowman as he's right now stuck between 2 lap traffic cars. Oh wow, and those 3 cars are hauling. You can see them coming into frame. It is now on as the 17, the 5, and the 8 has just rapidly approached in the 48 of Alex Bowman within 2 laps.
10 laps to go, guys. It's really putting under pressure right now as Alex Bowman is trying to pull out a perfect race here, but the 17, the 5, and the 8 is trying to spoil that as the 48 is still stuck behind the 3 of Austin Dillon.
Oh man, there's a 4-car tandem now. It's really gone interesting here within the closing laps, guys.
My heart's pounding. I'm getting super excited here.
However, though, even though it's 8 laps to go, that's not a lot of time because, of course, not to mention that this track is so short. These laps wind down fast, less than 30 seconds. And right now, Kyle Busch's main thing is to avoid any chaos here within these closing laps. He wants to obtain that championship here tonight.
Well, I think right now Kyle Busch is hoping that a caution does not come out here, because if a caution does come out with less than 5 laps to go, we will have a 1-lap shootout as what we saw in Las Vegas. So obviously Kyle Busch is hoping that we get to 5 laps to go without a caution coming out.
Well, they just got to make it 2 more laps because we have 7 laps to go, and if we do make it to 5 laps to go with no caution, that is definitely going to be helpful for the 8 of Kyle Busch, but not so much for the 20 of Christopher Bell, because that will officially eliminate him. 6 laps to go now. If they make it past this lap here without any problems, it's over for Christopher Bell.
Yeah, but as you take a look here, the 48 of Alex Bowman got in front of the 10 of Noah Gragson. That's going to slightly push them back here a little bit as the 10 gets stuck behind the 17. And here we go, guys. 5 laps to go. No matter what happens here, next flag will end the race.
And it's over for Christopher Bell, including the 12 of Ryan Blaney, because I don't think Ryan Blaney is going to have enough time to get back up to the front. I think it's going to be the 8th race now, as you see the 40 of Alex Bowman. He's rapidly approaching in with more lap traffic, and it is indeed AJ Allmendinger that's closing up to him. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, I am super impressed about how this 48 car has been racing today. He has led every single lap so far, and he's about to become the 5th driver to lead every single lap if he doesn't get into an issue here trying to get past these lap traffic cars. And with 3 laps to go, here is a look at the point standings as they run Kyle Busch's favor. And what a comeback this would be for the 8 of Kyle Busch, who had a horrible start of the season, was 32nd in the points. After race 3, he went all the way up, had an amazing stretch in the second half, made it all the way over to 2nd now, and now he is 2 laps away to secure the title here today.
Yeah, guys, with 2 laps to go, I think it's pretty much safe to say that Kyle Busch has got it because Alex Bowman is closing in on the white flag. Here he comes here, white flag in the air. Bowman about to have a perfect race, leading every lap here today.
And it has been an up and down season for the 48 of Alex Bowman after winning the Daytona 500. Had a horrible first half, had an amazing second half. Now with his 3rd win of the second half, he's going to get his 4th here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Kyle Busch is your NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series champion.
Wow, what a moment for Kyle Busch in that A car. Obviously, IRL, things have been going downhill. It's not been a great couple of years for Kyle Busch IRL, but man, what a season for the 8 of Kyle Busch, man. Unbelievable comeback after 32nd in the points, comes all the way up here to Bristol and wins the title. And obviously a dominant day for the 48 of Alex Bowman. He becomes the 5th driver ever to win a race and lead every single lap at the same time. Here is your official results here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Obviously, the 8 of Kyle Busch, who finishes home in 4th. Kyle Busch is your NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series champion. Yeah, awesome job for the 8 car of Kyle Busch. But let's take a moment and give some highlights out here. Chris Buescher. He was involved in that accident on lap 60. He got a lot of damage from that wreck, and he somehow, someway, made it all the way up here into the 3rd place position with unbelievable speed from that damaged car. Yeah, guys, how about Chase Briscoe in the 14, finishing 5th? He just got his 4th top 5 here today, his 1st since Atlanta. And how about a great way to end off Chase Briscoe's season, even though the first half really didn't start out too well.
Yeah, and even the 1 of Ross Chastain coming home in the 8th place position. How about that? 2 straight top 10 finishes to cap off what was a horrible season for the 1 of Ross Chastain. And of course, the 12 of Ryan Blaney, the championship contender, rounds up 9th.
Chase Elliott round out the top 10 in that list as we see in 11th place. Carson Hocevar finally getting at least a decent finish. It wasn't a top 10, but it is at least a good finish to end off what was a bad season for Carson Hocevar.
And once again, in a damaged car because he was involved. He literally had a car up on top of his roof, and he somehow managed to finish in the 11th place position. But I want to give a shout out to the 95 of Tim Simmons. I thought he finished on the lead lap, but he actually does not. But he does finish 15th, a top 15 finish for Tim Simmons, and he finally finishes a race.
Yeah, and of course the 20 of Christopher Bell, as we can see right there, finishing in the 19th place position. That accident that he was involved in lap 32 pretty much took him out right there because he fell back, he had to get some damage prepared, and he was not able to come back after that, and he was 22nd during the restart after that, and he was unable to come back up front. And how about Brad Keselowski coming back from 33rd, or 34th, excuse me, and all the way up to 20th.
And how about Sheldon Creed in the 78 coming home in the 21st place position for that small team of Live Fast Motorsports. And as we see right here, Shane Van Gisbergen actually retired from that race. I'm not sure exactly what happened for him to retire on. I think there might have been an incident that took place, unless he blew up or something. I don't know, but yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen did not finish this race, but he does finish 24th in the day. And how about Casey Kane and Matt DiBenedetto finishing home and above the top 30?
Yeah, and of course, Jonathan Nemechek coming home in the 28th position. That's better than what he has been throughout these past couple of races. So, obviously, Jonathan Nemechek, if I were him, I would definitely take it, because what a horrible season for the 42 of Jonathan Nemechek. At least he finishes off on a pretty decent note.
And of course, rounding up the field, you see 2 of our championship contenders. Joey Logano, who was involved in that accident, retired after lap 31. And obviously, the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Heartbreaker for that 19 of Martin Truex Jr., who had the championship in hand, but was struggling to get up into the top 10. And was involved in that accident on lap 60, which caused him to flip over, ending his championship hopes.
Yeah, man, I'm still heartbroken for the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. You know, we said it before, he has finished second so many times IRL. He's gonna finish second again.
Oh,
Such a crime shame for that 19 of Martin Truex Jr. and his fans, including Tim Simmons, because I'm pretty sure he got a lot of PTSD just hearing that.
Yeah, but I gotta give props to Martin Truex Jr. though. He was able to keep that championship lead for that long, but unfortunately he does not maintain it when it's all said and done, and I feel bad for Martin Truex Jr., but I do feel happy for the 8 of Kyle Busch.
Well, folks, here is your final point standings after race 15. Obviously, Kyle Busch winning the championship by 28 points, actually. Chris Buescher, after finishing in the 3rd place position, jumps up to 3rd in the standings. So, great comeback for Chris Buescher, even though he really didn't have an opportunity to get the title, because obviously Kyle Busch was still out there and running. But of course, Alex Bowman, he jumps all the way up to 6th. How about that for Alex Bowman? Of course, leading every single lap and leading the race. That definitely helped him out a ton. Yeah, and Christopher Bell, who was originally was planning on finishing into the top 5 in points, drops all the way to 7th, and Joey Logano from 7th to 10th. So definitely a rough ending to the season for both of those guys. But man, what a season from start to finish at Daytona, all the way up to here. I'm happy for Kyle Busch on one hand, and obviously I'm still disappointed about Martin Truex Jr. Heartbreaking loss, definitely for sure, who had the championship in hand. But yeah, guys, what a season from start to finish, and I'm happy about how it turned out.
Yeah, and of course, also, I just want to thank you guys, Tim James, Timothy Jameson, and of course, Simmons Tim, for being with me here on the booth, even though I was all alone in Michigan on my first duty. And I do also want to at least thank our other commentator, Tim Jimmins, the first 7 races before his ejection, and of course, to all the camera crew that was out here. Cash and Reds, look at this. Did you see that? And of course, every single one of them that worked in the past, and of course, the new ones that worked here today. And most importantly, we want to thank you fans out there for sticking along with was an amazing season for the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series. It was definitely a whole lot of fun doing this, and I'm glad you guys liked it too. It was a season with so many ups and downs, a lot of storylines, a lot of upsets, a lot of highlights from a lot of underdogs, with a thrilling ending to an amazing season with Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. duking it out, with Kyle Busch taking home the ultimate prize. Although this may be the end of the road for the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series, it isn't quite over for us just yet, because as a matter of fact, the fun is just getting started. We'd like to present to you the all-new NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series. Yeah, guys, you heard that right. The NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series. Now, since the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series is officially over, we are now deciding to move on into the NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series. Now, with new drivers and new tracks, and as well as a new championship battle that is about to take place. We hope you guys are looking forward to the brand new NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series. And as a matter of fact, before we actually get things started, we need an all-star race. We would also like to introduce that the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series will now take an opportunity to do an exhibition NASCAR all-star race at Los Angeles International Speedway. Yes, you heard that right. That Los Angeles International Speedway. 24 drivers, including Justin Allgaier, who all finished in the top 23 here in the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series. All 24 of those drivers will have an opportunity to race for not only $1 million, but guys, hear this. They're also going to be racing for a spot to race in the Daytona season opener in the NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun, as a lot of these drivers now have a new opportunity to race for something else, as including all of these 23 drivers in the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series points to go out and race for $1 million and a chance to race at the NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series season opener at Daytona. The All-Star race is expected to take place around March 29th, 2026, with the NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series season opener at Daytona to take place around in April. Not sure the exact date yet for that race yet, but we'll get more info as soon as they become available. Also, don't forget about the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series All-American race that is scheduled to take place on July 4th, 2026 to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Still got a lot of things planned for you guys, even though that the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series regular season is officially over. 2 more exhibition races for the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series, and as well as another season along the way. More information of the NASCAR D-Wall Truck Series and the schedule and the drivers will be released in a different separate video, but for right now, that's going to conclude our broadcast. Once again, guys, thank you all so much for watching all the races and all the fun that we've had here in the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series. Congratulations to your champion, Kyle Busch, in the number 8 for winning the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series championship. We'll see you guys next week for the All-Star race and see who will race for $1 million and who will participate in the season opener at Daytona for the Truck Series. Until then, thank you all so much for tuning in. God bless you. Hope you guys have a safe rest of your day. Stay faithful out there. Stay warm and stay healthy. And we'll see you guys at Los Angeles. Thanks again for all the support,
and we'll see you guys very soon.